So something that happened recently, we had a customer that during a storm, they experienced a power outage. Um, and not thinking about it, they said, okay, power's out. And they contacted a family in their home and going to their friend's house who had power across town. Well, when power came back on, something that they had failed to realize was that their stove was on. So because they were not home when the power came back on, the stove was left burning and hot, a massive house fire for them. So when you lose power, make sure all of your appliances are off.
Yeah, I recommend during a storm, it might be a good idea to actually turn your breakers off once you get the power. And there's two reasons. One, or a few reasons. One, you can prevent fires like the one that happened that Elena was talking about. And two, you can actually cause some damage to things when that power grid comes back up. Could be days later, and everything in your house decides to come on at the same time. It can result in some damage to your appliances and maybe even a fire. One thing I always like to make sure people do know during storms when it comes to fires and generator use. Generators, everybody wants to plug up a generator when they lose power, but we have seen and heard of people being hurt and losing their lives because they don't ventilate the generator properly. Never put a generator inside your house. I've seen that done, and it could have been very catastrophic for the family that did it because they were worried about the generator being stolen. I think you would much rather your generator be stolen than to breathe in carbon monoxide and get hurt from that.
Absolutely. Another good idea is all of your major appliances, make sure that they're plugged into a surge protector. And what that does is it protects the appliance when the electricity flickers or there is a power surge. That will then shut itself off, and so the power will not go to your appliance. It stops at the outlet. So that is one way that you can, on a regular basis, just protect your home from electrical fires and power surges.
Another thing about fires, whether they happen as a result of a storm or an electrical fire or a grease fire, the smoke damage is actually poisonous. I always ask people that have experienced a fire with a lot of soot and smoke damage in their home to stay out of the home as much as because the breathing in those particles from the soot and smoke that are on the walls are actually carcinogenic and they can make you sick. So vacating the home is the smartest thing to do. Let us go in with the right PPE, the personal protective equipment, and take care of the cleaning and all that, so you guys don't have to put yourself in harm's way. So one of the services that we do offer, and then just about every fire job we do, is contents cleaning, contents inventory. If it's damaged, being cleaning or repair, we definitely do not recommend sifting through contents, because as any fire department will tell you too, there can still be hot spots in that house that can burn you. Things are smoldering on clothes. If you've ever been through a fire, and I hope you haven't, the fire department will go through a lot of your contents while they're on scene to make sure they don't find these little hot spots and things like that. So sorting through your contents, I realize that's probably the worst thing for most people to experience in the fire, other than losing their actual damage to the actual house itself, but damage to contents. A lot of times it's very valuable stuff or extremely sentimental things that they want to instantly go and find and save. But I don't recommend sifting through that stuff. Let us handle that for you. Let us go in there with the right PPE, the right protection, and find what you need, get it out, make sure we can get it clean right away and get it back to you.
Right. And as a general rule of thumb, something that homeowners don't really think about because we get comfortable, but on a regular basis, it is a good idea to have a safe spot for those valuables, whether it's a type of lockbox or a safe or something like that, so that if something does happen, you can say, oh, I've got small, closet safe, or there's a lockbox under the bed. Can you get that? And at that point, once it's retrieved, double checking the contents of it, making sure that what you think is in there really is in there. And then you maintain ownership of those expensive items, or, the important items. Same thing, having something like that for the documents pertaining to your home is a good idea as well. All of your insurances, your mortgage information, the deeds or lease information for your property, having all of that in one spot, be located and provided to you as a homeowner is a really good idea.
I think the first step you should call is Servpro. Get us on your radar, get us all the information we need so we can start heading out and respond as quickly as possible. We can help you make the claim and go through all that process while we're on site if you need us to. I know it's overwhelming to go through a fire or any kind of damage like that, but we are experts in this field, and we know how to, from start to finish, process these claims along with you guys. And every insurance company knows who Servpro is. And so again, just to repeat, I think the first step should be calling Servpro, get us on the road to your house so we can start cleaning up. Another suggestion for, say, a fire damage is don't try to clean anything yourself. I've seen it too many times where the customer, they're overwhelmed. There is a favorite piece of furniture or something like that, and you can actually do more damage because there is a lot of science behind chemicals and how we clean and what we clean with, specific to the material that is. So that is a suggestion I have. Don't try to clean it yourself. Let us take care of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I have watched people get bad information, and an adjuster or the neighbor would tell them, no, you just take pictures and just throw everything out to the street. And that's not true. We're a restoration company. We're a leader in this industry. And we can restore a lot of products that you might look at and go, wow, there's nothing can be done. And to JD's point, that soot that's on there, if you just try to wipe it off with any type of cleaning agent other than what's recommended by our company and our chemist, you can actually embed that soot. And what soot does is it will just eat at the furniture. It eats whatever it's sitting on. So if it's not removed properly, then it can't be restored properly. So once again, you need an expert company that is an expert in restoration, because that's what we want to do. We want to restore your belongings, and we want to restore.
Absolutely. And I like what JD said. First call should be to, in the instances of a fire, once the fire is put out, you're kind of coming to terms with, okay, my house caught on fire. I need to know what to do next. The great first call is to call that expert restoration company to come in and get started. And like JD said, we're very, very well versed in the language of insurance companies. And our whole team to guide you through the process of filing that claim and communicating with your agent or the assigned adjuster on how to get this process rolling.
So I'm actually at a client's house right now that we've been working on that had a pretty substantial fire. It happened, I believe it was on Sunday. Today is, last week. But there was an elderly couple, and they'd had a fire start in their bedroom, and it destroyed their bedroom, destroyed about half the contents in their house, and the rest is covered in black soot. And when I arrived, she was crying. The husband didn't know how to console her. And so I sat down, I talked with them for several minutes, explained over and over this process that we're going to take care of for them from start to finish. We helped them make the claim. We helped them understand what we were doing, why we were doing it, why we were removing some contents from the house to bring our warehouse, why we were throwing some away, that we were documenting all this for them. And the joy in this woman when she realized that she didn't have to do anything but give us a little bit of direction on some of her contents to get through this was payment enough.
You know, just kind of dovetailing into that, I've probably been on over 50, 60 fires, and some significant. And almost every time the customers are there and they're very visibly upset to the point of tears. And it's, again, like JD said, the joy that we have in taking care of the customer, to be able to take in that face of just being overwhelmed, and just most women are crying. I've even seen a man the size of JD shed a tear once in a while. But what it is they're losing not just property, but it's their memories. It's family heirlooms that their pawpaw made this particular bench for them, or pictures that you can never replace. They're irreplaceable. So that kind of loss is personal. And it like I said, the adjuster can't replace that. So it's our job to come in and step alongside of these people and just give them that assurance. Once again, I'm going to play the empathy, but it is, we in this company at Servpro, we all started and got into this business because the word Servpro, part of that word is serve, and that's in our DNA. We want to serve you. We want to help you in every situation. We want to tap into your best self and help take away all the anguish and the strife and just the feeling of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? We help you process that. So we are very good at what we do because, once again, we're people driven.
But no, you said it right. You know, and you mentioned it kind of earlier that you have a team, and you know, we're mostly been talking about us directly, but that's one thing that I think do really well, and is instill that same empathy, that same compassion and desire to actually help in our team, whether it's, you know, team leaders or technicians, temporary workers, whatever we have doing these jobs. We want them to go in with the same mindset that they're there to help these people, and what they're doing is actually making a difference in the customer's lives, mainly because that client, that customer does not want to be where they're at. They don't want us in their house because they don't want to, you know, what happened to have happened in their home. So they don't want to have to call us, but we want them to understand that we are there for when they do need it. We get asked a lot on house fires and commercial fires about the odor, and the steps and processes for odor removal, because it, you know, in the first stages, that is the goal. First stages of a fire loss is to start removing that odor, whether it be by removing the material that can't be cleaned, or cleaning, you know, material on site, or removing contents and cleaning it off site, or cleaning contents on site. There are a lot of different ways that we remove odor, a lot of chemicals, like David said, that Servpro has their own chemists that create these chemicals that we use every day. We've got machines, ozone machines, we've got air scrubbers with charcoal filters. We've got a lot of tools for the odor removal. So that is a question we get a lot, is, you know, is this odor going to linger? Is it going to stay? Well, no, when we come in and do what we're supposed to do and follow our standards, then no, that's the entire goal, is to make sure your house does not smell like it had a fire.
So I'll just add real quick and then I'm done. So along those lines, what JD's talking about is, um, I know I keep beating this, our mantra is, like it never happened, but in reconstruction or doing an addition or doing a remodel, the standard of doing a good remodel or a good addition is to make it look like it was done at the beginning of the house, that it wasn't, oh, wow, you guys had an afterthought and wow, that looks really different. So it's to make it look like it never happened. And the fire is a very big concern for people. Is that soot going to be there? Is all the rafters and the floor joists, are they all going to have that dark hue on them? And the answer is no. We can put your house back pre-loss condition to the point of, if you were going to sell that house, a customer could literally walk through there and never know that a fire actually happened there. And that's our goal. And that's what JD delivers 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
8 days, David. So in the unfortunate event, and I hope you don't have this happen to you, but in the unfortunate event that you have a fire that affects your home or business, please call Servpro of East Baton Rouge, Ascension Parish right away. I assure you we will have somebody on site quickly to address your concerns and begin the remediation process so we can get you back to like it never happened.